Hello again, time for another video. So let's have a look. Now this one has been posted once or twice in the group. I don't usually pay attention to constant postings and repostings, but I have a bit of time before I go out, so I'm going to take a quick look at this. Now, what I can see here is quite a lot of I've seen the case notes. I'm not going to show them here. They're probably copyrighted. And what I'm just going to talk about here is the general English. Now, there's some problems here with vocabulary and grammar that need some attention. So I think this is what we need to look at first in this particular letter before we start thinking of anything else. Okay, so let's get down to business. So I'm writing to refer Mr. Bacon, who needs home visits corresponding with ongoing evaluation and control of his rehabilitation program. You could put a definite article there because it's a particular evaluation with the ongoing evaluation. I would be tempted to put one on control of his rehabilitation program. Now, he is recovered. Well, if he is recovered, then you don't need to come and see him. So I think possibly recovering is better. Recovering without complications. Now, as a noun, I've mentioned this before, if it's an abstract, you pluralize it. Visits, complications, because it's complications in general. Okay, after total left hip replacement operation, thanks to advanced hip. So, I presume this is the reason for his replacement operation. But how this reads, it's kind of, he is recovering without complications after a total left hip replacement operation, thanks to advance. So, thanks to? So, owing to or due to. But anyway, we don't actually need that. We can just, he's had a total left hip replacement operation. We don't really need to know why. Okay, Mr. Bacon admitted. What, he admitted himself, or was he passively admitted? Okay. Does it matter what the hospital was? Not necessarily, but you can include it. With worsening osteoarthritis symptoms, and this surgery was performed. His last bits revealed nothing abnormal. Physiotherapy commenced. So right, with I'm not sure that's supposed. It can't be respiratory. Not really sure. Well, respiratory after a hip replacement. It could be, but I'm not sure. Respiratory. Just for the sake of argument. Okay. Now, what I would do is separate this information. Okay. Your paragraphs should be grouped in one particular information, or about one particular thing. So it was that surgery was performed, without complications or blah 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 blah. Okay, so you can put it like that. Then you can put something like regarding his post operative period. So these expressions, these so-called gambits. So why I think these are useful is they give a sense of cohesion to the letter as a whole. I mean, you have put one here in terms of its history. Okay. On the third, I don't know what we'd put that there for, but you usually put something, right? Initially, regarding its history, blah 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 blah, and these expressions do help to separate your paragraphs and show the difference in stages and transitions, which they, examine alike. So, regarding his post-operative period, on the 5th of the 4th, his left hip X-ray revealed nothing abnormal. The physiotherapy program commenced respiratory exercises to extremity activities. He was walked to shower. He was walked. What he now right using in a passive here sounds like somebody physically helped him and walked him to the shower. Now that could be true, but it says with the help of a frame. So I'm not really sure. It's like I'm not really sure what is occurring here. It's not so clear from a sentence. So he was walked, and we should have an article anyway in front of shower if it's a particular location and not a verb. So he walked to, or he was able to. Now possibly might be this. He was able to walk to plus infinitive to the shower. Okay, with the help of a walking frame on the following day, and started to bend his knee and hip. So now how this reads is that he was walking to the shower and he was bending his knee and hip on the way to the shower. It possibly was, but I think it's two separate activities. So you need to make that plain in the letter. During volunteer's hospitalization, why is there a comma? We don't need it. The patient was highly adherent to his exercise program. Okay. Now, why is this put here? This makes no sense. I mean, you know, this section about he wants to get home as soon as possible. Yeah. So that would, and it's not really in terms of his social history, because it's more like why he wants to get home as quickly as possible, you know. So you could put that here. So it's like you've got the reason for writing. Okay, I want you to do blah 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 blah. Though it's not as clear as it could be. I am writing to request home visits for Mr. Bacon. I think that would work actually better. I'm writing to request home visits for Mr. Bacon, blah 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 blah. However, back with this one. So we've got this here. Mr. Bacon takes care of his wife who's got Alzheimer's. He wants to get back home as soon as possible, but you've like dropped it in the middle of operation, post-op, more post-op. So what's it doing here? Surely it would be more logical to move it probably towards the end of the letter, you know, so that would make more sense, I think. Let me just grab it, you know, put it there. Okay. For your information, please note, because it's not really social history, is it? Because it's not in the past. Social history, it's in the past, but he's concerned about his wife now, so I wouldn't use that. So, like, for your information, please note Mr. Bacon wants to return home as soon as possible because he's the sole carer of his wife, etc. Okay, and that would be more logical in terms of layout. Yeah. So, what else do we have here? Well, first, without limp. Now, it's either without a limp or without limping, but with the aid of a walking stick. Walking stick is countable. He began climbing stairs, and did he stop? And his pain had alleviated in this course? No, I can guess the general meaning, but from the English part there, it's nonsensical. His pain had alleviated in this course. No idea what that means in terms of English, and I'm not guessing, because you should make it clear. I shouldn't have to guess. Yesterday he could move independently, make that an adverb, and he had already educated what? He had already educated whom? Who had he educated? Because that's how that reads. He's performed the action. Obviously not. He's been advised or recommended, or someone has educated him about how to exercise. So that's no good either. His transportation as well as home help are also organised, and I will put something there about he wants to get home because he's a sole carer for his wife, and that would make more sense and a more logical arrangement. Okay, in light of the above, or in view of the above, it would be appreciated if you visit it at home, or if you could use a modal verb. Just a measure. Okay, so not too bad. So you've got to watch this. There's some articles here, initials with articles. Got some issues with passive. We don't know who's performing the action here. Okay, so be careful with passive. Not sure if that's the right word. Article 2 plus infinitive, because that passive, was walked. I don't know if somebody actually grabbed him and walked him, or if he was able to walk. So that's clear. What's your verb form? Article, adverb, independently, and then put that there to make more sense, and that should be fine. Okay, so hope that helps. I'll post this in the group and you can have a look at it there. Okay.